Hey guys, I'm Jason. I'm one of the bar leads at Mustard Seed Gardens, and I want to do this quick little video so we're all on the same page coming into this new exciting season where we've made quite a few changes. I'm going to try to make this a little quick. I just did this video, it was like 20 minutes, so I'm going to try to cut it in half, so bear with me a little bit. I'll be speaking a little bit faster. There's a couple things I want to go over. I want to go over pour counts. The ingredients for the new cocktails that we're going to use, we have double the amount of ingredients, we have different liquors now, we have different mixers, lime juice, lemon juice, different liqueurs, and we have put together a wonderful program for different packages that are offered for each wedding. So consistency is going to be super important, and also recipes are going to be super important. A recipe is different than ingredients. You can have the right ingredients, but if you're not putting those ingredients together properly, you are going to screw up that drink, and we're not going to have that. So with these new packages come a little bit more money, and so with that more money, there's a little bit higher expectation for the bartenders to be on a little bit higher level, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna get you there hopefully in about 10 to 12 minutes. So we're gonna go over how to properly shake a cocktail. There's 7 of them on the new menu. We're gonna do how to build a cocktail. There's 5 of those new ones on the menu. And then we're gonna go over what muddling and stirring is. So we are doing a crash course bartending class right now. Most of you know how to bartend. You've either been to bartending school, you have experience, you've been at Mustard Seed for a couple years, and I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. I'm going to be, we're going to have jiggers if you need a little bit of help with the recipe, or we're going to free pour, which is what we would prefer. It looks better, and it's super, super simple. So might as well just jump right into that. I believe pour counts are the fundamental for the recipe, and before you learn anything else, you are going to learn how to pour. So let's get right into it. Cadence is important when you want to pour a drink. So if I'm using a speed pour, which is what this is, every count is a 1/4 ounce. If your recipe calls for 1.5 ounces, that is a 6 count, 6 1/4 ounces. If you need a 1/2 ounce of lavender syrup, that's a 2 count. If you are using 2 ounces of gin in a gin cocktail, that's going to be an 8 count. And these things are very, very accurate if we're doing it properly. We want to tip the bottle completely upside down. We want to cut it properly. Watch the end of this bottle. It's like scooping peanut butter out of the jar, right? I'm going to take the peanut butter, I'm going to scoop it. Take the peanut butter, and I'm gonna scoop it. I'm bringing this back to my pocket, and that's a proper cut. And you're cutting on the number. So I'm counting to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1 ounce. So, trying to hurry through this. I don't want this to be a 20-minute video like my 3 previous videos. So, you guys can practice this at home. If you need an empty bottle, we can give you one. If you need water, use your sink. Here's a pour spout. You can buy them, or we have no problem giving you one to practice at home. So to show you how easy this is, I want to, all of the cocktails that are a gin and tonic, a vodka soda, rum and coke, you will be using a 1 ounce pour. You can either pour it into the jigger, then pour it into the drink, or you can count to 4, and you should have oh buddy, I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but the surface tension is proper on this one. So, and how I do that is 1, 2, 3, 4. You start the count the second your bottle's upside down, and you should be super consistent. Not bragging, it's just consistency, and it's the bottle. So, an advanced lesson that you can practice at home. If I want to do a lavender cocktail, which I think is like an ounce of this and a half ounce of this, I'm going to put the bottle with the least amount in there. So if I only need a half ounce of triple sec, I'm gonna put that in my dominant hand. If I need a 1 ounce of Tito's, I'm gonna put that in my less dominant hand. I'm gonna still count to 4 because this is the higher number. 1 ounce is a 4 count, half ounce, 2 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've cut this at 2. I let this ride out to 4. Here's an ounce and a half. There should be an ounce and a half in here. Let's see where we're at. Guys, this is not video editing. This is me doing it. Anyway, that's how you pour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You get it. Some of the cocktails are going to be an ounce and a half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cut it. Ounce and a half. I don't know what to tell you. Like, money. So, proving my point that these are consistent. They're going to be the same every time you do it. That's what we're looking for. Practice your pours. Practice the count. Jiggers are there for testing. Shouldn't have to use them if your count's proper. One thing that's good about the count is once everybody gets it, you can see somebody else and know, are they over pouring? Are they under pouring? A lot of the customers know how to count. A lot of people have been bartenders. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, get that cadence right and you'll be good at it. So we want to be consistent. We want to make sure that the drinks are made properly with the right recipe. I think pouring is the first step to that. So once you get the pouring down, then we can go on to building the cocktail or shaking the cocktail. So if we are going to make a, let's say, a lemon drop martini, we're going to need a shaker tin and we're going to need a martini glass. If you want to get super fancy, you can do it like they do at a cocktail bar. Fill this glass up first with ice, get it a little chilled. Not necessary, this is going to be really cold. The quick rundown on why we shake a cocktail is, 1, to mix the ingredients that would naturally separate on their own. 2, you want to get it a little frothier that just tastes better, it's more palatable going down when it is like that. And what some people don't know, unless you've been to bartending school, is that part of that recipe with a shaken cocktail requires it to be diluted. So if I'm putting 2 ounces of liquor in here, I want the ice to break down to 1 ounce of water. So how we do that? It's simple. It's kind of easy. I'm gonna put 3/4 of ice in here. No matter how big your shaker tin is, 3/4 of ice. We have 3/4 of ice. Then I pour the ingredients. Just for a visual, let's do 1.5 ounces of a liquor, and normally you would have other things, right? You'd have like a 1/2 ounce of this, 1 ounce of that, 1 ounce of this. Just for visuals, we're gonna do 1.5 ounces of liquor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 1.5 ounces. You take the other side of your shaker tin. Obviously they're different sizes, get 2. All on the table, pop it down, and we're shaking. We are moving the ice in here from this side to this side pretty vigorously. We're not swirling, we're not up and down, because that's only crushing the ice on the bottom. It's not crushing the ice as it hits the top. The thicker your ice is, the harder and longer you're gonna need to shake to break down that ice into the ratio that you want. The ice that we use at Mustard Seed and Iron and Ember is a little bit more delicate of ice than if you were to use like an ice cube out of an ice cube tray. If you think about that, like if you had an ice cube tray, that ice is a little larger and a little thicker. That would require me to really crush that ice up in this. Maybe shake for 20 or 30 seconds. Iron and ember ice or mustard seed ice in those ice machines, you're looking for a not super vigorous shake and maybe for like 10 to 12 seconds. That's it. Like I did. I'm not swirling, you know, however you want to shake it or anything. You are moving the ice from this side to this side, breaking it down so you get the right thing. When you pour this off, you will have other ingredients that make it frothy, make it a little bubbly. So when that's down, I like to pop it here, let it drip off. This visual is horrible. You're gonna grab your strainer and we're gonna pour it in your glass. So I've added 1.5 ounces of liquor. And what I'm looking for is half of 1.5 ounces is 0.75. So I should be at, there's my 1.5 ounces. Here's my 1 ounce. And I'm just probably over halfway on this. So I've got the 1.5 ounces of liquor and I've got more water. It's probably closer to 1 ounce. Yeah, it's right at 1 ounce. Half ounce, I'm sorry. So, but that's bigger ice. That ice, perfect example. I would have had to have shaken harder, longer to break down more of the water. That water is really important. It dilutes the alcohol in a shaken cocktail. That's part of the recipe. That's what we're looking for. So, moving on, we are not shaking carbonated ingredients. So if it calls for tonic, that goes at the end. You're not gonna shake carbonation. You are shaking the base ingredients. Then once you've put the cocktail in the glass, you're adding the extras. So if it's sugar, if it's a cordial, if it's liquor, all of it goes in 3/4 of ice, add your ingredients, seat, proper shake, bang it, drip it, strain it, either over ice or just in the cup, depending on what you're making. We have 7 of those cocktails now. Make yourself familiar with them. But all of them are gonna be shaken the same way. So, that goes over that. The other 2 things that we're doing, well, I think I talked about the built cocktails, where you're just pouring over ice. We're filling the ice up all the way to the top, 1 ounce pour if you're making a rum and coke or a vodka tonic, and then your mixer. So we want to make sure that every glass filled to the top, if it's a built drink, with ice, and the proper ingredients with the proper pour. So super simple. If we are making one of our cocktails that are stirred, 2 are on the menu. We have a muddled strawberry basil margarita. Maybe that sounds like you should shake it, but it works better as a stirred drink. And then also an old fashioned that we're all familiar with. For both of those, you're going to need a muddler. The old fashioned, you're going to use sugar and 3 dashes of bitters. Put that in a glass with nothing else. Sugar cube or sugar packet, you're gonna use 3 dashes of your bitters, and you are gonna grind that sugar up and like froth it up. Like really, for like a good 20, 30 seconds, you're breaking down those sugar crystals, mixing it in, so when you do add your ice and your liquor, all of that is just getting blended up and you don't have a layer of sugar on the bottom of the drink. Boom, you get that a little frothy, tap it off, add your ice, add your liquor, your spoon, give it a quick stir, add your garnish, and your old-fashioned done. If this was a mason jar, I'd be making my strawberry basil margarita. I'm gonna add my basil and my strawberries. I'm gonna get in there and really mash those up. I'm breaking down that strawberry, I'm breaking down the basil, I'm releasing those aromatics in the fruit. And once I really got those down good, I'm gonna add a little bit of the simple syrup of the honey, mix it just to like break it off of the bottom of the glass, add your ice, add your ingredients, give it a quick stir. If you need to add more, I think it's either soda water or whatever your little topper is, and more ice at the end, you can do that at the end for the presentation, because those are decent sized mason jars, and we want to at least make it look full. So those are the differences we have. We have a beautiful program. People are spending a lot more money on these packages, and I want to make sure that we're all consistent. If you got 2 people on either side and one guy's, shaking, and then the other dude's back there killing it, that's not consistency. That's just weird, to be honest with you. So we're all going to be shaking the same way, slamming that ice back and forth on purpose, and we're all going to be free pouring properly. If you have any questions on that, you can go on tutorials on YouTube, you can ask me, we can practice before your shift, or you can take a bottle home and practice at home. But most important thing, let's learn how to pour properly. What else? That might be it. I know I probably rambled a little bit on, but I want to really make sure that we know what we're getting into this year. We've stepped the game up. If you guys are coming in this year with the same mentality that you had last year, we're losing. We're coming in, we're bringing better service, better quality of cocktails, and more consistency. So really looking forward to this season. I hope you guys are too. Like I said, any questions, hit me up.